Hey guys, Prince of Macedon here, and I am not playing in this battle replay. This was sent to me by some guy named Aemnestus, and it's a 2v2 battle, and he assured me that this match was going to be very entertaining. So I'm excited about it. Now you can see it was arcade style because there was no deployment whatsoever. It just got right into it. So this will essentially be a live commentary, but I've never seen this replay, so I don't know what's going to actually happen. But it looks like a cool matchup. Aemnestus is commanding GAUL. His ally looks to be the SPQR Romans. His ally's name is Boris of the SPQR. Now Boris will be taking on the Macedonians under Liquid Taco, and Aemnestus of the Gallic Empire will be taking on Roman General. That's his name. So typically in most 2v2s or 3v3s, most people try to deploy next to each other. Does not seem to be the case here. Anyways, I'm going to take this time to give a shout out to a guy named Orthodox Knight. Apparently we played each other in Medieval 2, I don't remember, but he said it was a Denmark versus Byzantines match. Anyways, if you want to check out his channel, I'll put the link in the description. This is something completely different than this replay. But I'll give a shout out to him. He has a video on Mountain Blade and one on Medieval 2, a Moorish short campaign. So check it out if you want. So let's go watch this battle here. So let's see who gets into it first. Well, it looks like GAUL is really far from his ally. And then Roman General is getting a little closer to the Macedonians to assist them better. So it looks like it's up to Aemnestus of GAUL to bring his force to the side. As it stands, it looks like the SPQR and the Macedonians are going to be the first ones into combat. Now let's go look at these armies compositions here. Boris has urban cohorts, look to be gold. He's got a bunch of peasants here. Not sure what the rule set was in this match. Oh, we have Roman Armor General back over there, and a bunch of Praetorian Cav. The Macedonian setup got a heavily upgraded royal pikes here. Might be gold plus experience. We got some Cretan archers firing. We have an artillery piece back here, which are generally useless. Companion Cav. Then we got the Roman General here. He's got gold Praetorians most likely. He has a unit of Praetorian Cav right there. Then he has a bunch of urban cohorts. Looks to have some pretty mean upgrades, gold. Now it looks like they're launching a blitz on Aemnestus's SPQR ally here. They are ganging up on him, although that's interesting. Instead of reinforcing his flank here, he's going to send his infantry forward to attack the Macedonian phalanx line. Now it looks like Aemnestus is finally sending troops over to help his ally. We have a little cav charge from Aemnestus, and it looks like these JULII cav will be surrounded here by SPQR cav and Gallic cav. That is the tactical situation right now. How is the SPQR infantry doing against these heavily upgraded pikes? Hard to say, but they're about to get outflanked over on this side by the Companion Cav. Actually, looks like the Companion Cav is going to try to help out his JULII ally, but at this point it might be too late. It's too late for him to get over there. He needs to cut his losses and return. At least hit the backs of these SPQR urban cohorts, but nope. Alright, now he's going to go for it, but at this point he is being followed closely on the heels by the Gallic Cav who turned back. So he is going to get a good charge on these urban cohorts from behind. Nice! Now what is Aemnestus doing with his infantry? He's going to send it against the JULII up here. At least hold his attention. JULII is going to shift to the left on that hill. At the very least though, it looks like the SPQR and Gallic allies have destroyed the Macedonian Cav and the JULII Cav, mainly the JULII Cav. Macedonian Cav is still alive and kicking, but the JULII lost a lot of Cav with that assault. I think had they coordinated better, the SPQR would have been sandwiched by the Macedonians and the JULII Red Romans, but they were not on the same page when that happened. And it looks like GAUL and the SPQR came out the better in that cav engagement. Still a general brawl going on here. But GAUL is going to charge uphill. He's going to launch himself right into this Testudo. Problem with Testudo is there's not any real threat to the attackers when they charge into the Testudo. Like, they're well defended, but they're not really hurting the Gallic cav right now. So he launches a giant assault right here into that Testudo. The rest of the Gallic infantry is just sitting back right now. The JULII could be taking their guys out of Testudo, yeah. Do that and attack these Gallic horses. But the Gallic horses are going to get out of there as he sees the Testudo coming undone. Not undone. Macedon is holding his own against the SPQR. Boris has a lot of cav still though, so that's not good for Macedon. Yeah, the Macedon infantry is pretty highly upgraded right now, so I'll come back to that in a second. I want to see what's happening with GAUL and JULII. Looks like they're at a standstill right now. SPR is going to commit to the fight against Macedon. SPQR is losing some troops. It's like peasants, though. Macedonian general is in the thick of this fight. He's trying to be like Alexander the Great with his commander, but Alexander the Great is going to pull back here. Gotta say, so far I'm very entertained by this fight, so I am very thankful to be watching this replay. It is highly entertaining. That is cool. When you play on arcade mode, I like how you can't really deploy. You don't have that starting deployment thing. So in that sense, it's less arcadey than the non-arcade mode that you can't really deploy. You'll have to redeploy in the face of the enemy, which happens a lot in battle. Alright, so JULII and GAUL are going at it right now. There is a horde of cav or these JULII urbans. It's not looking good for the JULII urbans right now. I would definitely commit these guys to the fight. Oh wait, they're just Forester warbands. They can't really commit to the fight. These guys can though, these chosen swords. I didn't really get a good look at the Gallic army, but I can see now that there's a lot of Forester warbands. Well, 8 units of them? Holy cow. So he planned to shoot those guys to death. But at the stand, it looks like he's gonna melee him to death. And get some nice shots on this big glob of urbans here. Let's watch him go down. Alright, so I think it's safe to say that this JULII infantry is gonna get hammered. But there's a big blob of like, what, 5 squads here of urbans, but they are severely depleted right now. He could probably launch these Forester warbands just to hold these urbans down. They might actually beat these urbans at this stage, there's so few urbans left. Oh, look at this mass rout here from Rome. Probably all these forces are shooting at him causing the mass rout. And again, I have not seen this replay, so this is a live commentary. Do not know what's going to happen in this fight. But it looks like SPQR is getting bested by the Macedonians. I still think Macedon should have attacked the SPQR earlier when the JULII ally was launching his cav into the SPQR. But instead the Macedonian infantry stood back and watched the unsupported JULII cav charge on SPQR go severely checked by both SPQR and the GAULs. So JULII is removed from the battlefield.
Now hunt them down.
So it looks like it's going to be between the victorious left wing of these guys versus the victorious left wing of these guys. So GAUL versus Macedon. There's still a few more SPQR troops here though, but for the most part SPQR is removed from the field as well. Now, if you'll notice the comparison of remaining troops, there's some Cretan archers here, but they will be outgunned by the 8 units of Forester warbands on this side. Macedon still has some cav. It's depleted. They've got a pretty respectable infantry force still, but they are also depleted. Whereas I feel like the GAUL here has a lot more troops left. The Forester Warbands are pretty much untouched. The Chosen Swords are depleted. Gallic Cav is huge. They will easily swarm the Macedonian Companion Cav, so I think at this stage it's safe to say that GAUL is going to win this fight. Keep in mind, Macedon still has a artillery piece over here, and he is going to get it into position, it looks like. So what GAUL has to do is just close the distance here at this point, and just give it to Macedon. Because although these pikes are still a formidable force, they are still going to get easily swarmed by GAUL's superior numbers at this stage, and these Cretans will be nullified by the Forester Warbands. This Companion Cav will be swallowed by the Gallic horses, who are way more plentiful. Look at that. So that's funny how Forester Warbands can hide anywhere, even in the open like this, out in the sand. We'll just make believe that they have buried themselves in the sand. I've seen people do that. But yeah, at this stage, yeah, Macedon is beaten, but I'm glad Macedon's not just going to keel over and surrender. I want to see him fight to the end. Now, obviously, if this was real life, I would say, hey Macedon, cut your losses, go home, save the lives of your young and old soldiers. There's no need for them to perish, but since this is a video game, yes, please do a last stand fight against GAUL here. So pretty brave of Aemnestus to take GAUL in a big money battle. This looks like a big money battle to me. That was quite the risk. Oh, look at that! Looks like the okay, Boris has surrendered for some reason. I don't know why he surrendered. I'm assuming he had to go somewhere, so he surrendered. Because, yeah, his ally has the upper hand on Macedon. And I think Macedon sees that GAUL has the upper hand, so Macedon's gonna do the only thing he should do, and that's go for the hill advantage. I think even with a hill advantage, he would still lose to GAUL. But for sure, I would be firing off, you know, making use of his artillery piece, because right now his range is the only thing that he has over GAUL. He might get lucky and hit the Gallic commander at this stage, and that would seriously hamper GAUL's overall morale. All right, this is interesting. GAUL is going to pull back. You know, if I was GAUL, I'd be like, dude, you know, I got superior troops. I'll climb the hill with this guy and fight him for it. Instead, he is going to go to this hill. I don't agree with that move. But he has conducted himself very well in this fight. But yeah, that said, I still think GAUL has a superior advantage over Macedon right now. So I would just go over there and finish Macedon off. But he's going to play it more cautiously. That would definitely be unfortunate to lose such a fight after fighting so hard, especially as a barbarian faction. I wonder why he's facing this way. They're both facing the wrong way. I mean, one's facing that way towards, I don't know where they're facing. And these guys are facing out that way, so they're not really in each other's line of sight. If anything, Macedon has kind of a line of sight on GAUL. So yeah, Macedon should just stay on this hill, I guess, because he's definitely inferior to GAUL right now. So again, yeah, if you want to check out this other guy's channel, his name is Orthodox Knight. That might give him the boost to make more content. Da, 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 da. Alright, so I'm gonna look at this guy's name, Aemnestus. He has OTS as a prefix, and my guess for what that OTS means is... Anybody? Anybody? On the sand. Alright, so... you can still see there's a lot of time left in this replay here. I honestly would have just swarmed these guys. I mean, again, you don't want to be too reckless, but yeah, Macedon doesn't have a Cav Force anymore. Unless you call this a Cav Force, it's really not a Cav Force. These Cretans will get destroyed easily. These regular archers will get destroyed easily. And look how much separation is between the infantry and the Cav. Now, obviously, Macedon could easily bring their forces back together should GAUL launch a giant Cav assault. All right, looks like GAUL is firing at the Macedonians, and Macedon's already losing tons of troops. They're not even in combat yet. If anything, he should have sent his Cretans in first to absorb the Forester Warband barrage. Yeah, not a good idea to lead with these guys, because these are the troops that you want to preserve for the final fight. Cretans, you don't... I mean, they have one purpose right now, and that's to exchange fire with the enemy missiles. Alright, so now they're coming forward. It's too little too late. Man, at least scatter these guys a little bit better. Look how many foresters there are. It's this... Whatever they focus fire on, they're just gonna murder it. See, look at this block of Royal Pikes. They're down to 3 now. Earlier they were down to like this, and now they're down to that. So... honestly, it would be in both players' interest just to close the distance. I mean, they both have every reason to close the distance. Macedon needs to close the distance, because if they don't, they'll get shot to death by GAUL. GAUL should want to close the distance so they can easily surround these Royal Pikes. Alright, so GAUL is going to launch its Cav at the Macedonian artillery. That's a good idea, so it can silence the artillery from even firing. I don't recall if Macedon even fired at GAUL. So Macedon definitely lost advantage. Or it just lost the use of its only thing that it had an advantage of, and that was its ranged artillery piece right here. So Macedon's getting eaten from the backside. Not good. I would definitely try to kill Macedon's general. Look at that. And GAUL still has plenty of Cav, comparatively speaking. He has 6 units over here and 3 units over there. That's 9 units of Cav altogether. So yeah, definitely not CWB rules, obviously. Because you saw how many urbans there were per Roman. There was a lot more than 6. So it looks like GAUL's just playing around with Macedon. I would just finish it off at this point. Is GAUL out of missiles? He still has missiles. Why not just finish him? Okay, now he's firing. So he's probably targeting one of these phalanx blocks here. This one right here. So watch how fast they're gonna go down. That was one barrage down to what, 17? Let's see what the next barrage does. Oh wait, now he's targeting this one. Look at that, rapid fire. They are down to like, what, 6 now in that one little volley. Macedon is completely outplayed. Or he's just outdone at this. He's outdone to begin with. Before he even fought GAUL. And again, the barrage continues to fall on Macedon. GAUL is ironically ruling the missile fight. Oh, and now the artillery's firing. I doubt he's gonna hit moving Cav. I would just target this big blob right here. Let's target right here in the middle, and he's bound to hit something. But GAUL's gonna continue to play with his food. Seriously, GAUL, I would just come up here and just slaughter them. Use your infantry. Just come up here. You can even charge with your archers. Because this force is non-existent. Look at that. That's all that's left of the Macedonian proper infantry. But GAUL has played extremely well in this fight. You know, he took out a Roman as GAUL. That's pretty impressive. And there goes the Macedonian general.
The enemy general. Now his men show fear. Now they may turn and run. Attack! Attack!
Macedonian cap has disintegrated. Looks like he was gonna try to operate that, but he got shot to death. All that's left is this unit right here. That's it, as far as I can see. And he's gonna slightly move his cab into them. Alright. So I gotta say, that was a great battle. That was awesome. And this guy sent it to me, Aemnestus. He fought extremely well in this fight. I just think he should have finished off Macedon sooner than he did. But he fought really well in this fight. Everyone fought really well. But it was always impressive to see, you know, GAUL rule the battlefield, especially in a big money fight. Good stuff. Hope you enjoyed this match where I was spectating. I hope you guys enjoyed my commentary.